hey, I think we should go fly a plane today. So I'm here at this field. It is super windy. We're testing the conditions of the AtomRC Dolphin. How's it gonna handle in 25, 30 mile an hour gusts? So I'm here, this location, because the wind is coming directly from there. So it's coming, that would be southwest going northeast. And this just gives me a little bit of protection where I can land it over along this tree line somewhere, so I'm not skipping it across. And it is not letting up one bit. We're gonna see what happens in like worse conditions, and cross your fingers. Obviously, if you're probably watching this, it survived, or maybe it didn't, who knows? We're gonna find out here. So here we go, let's go launch this thing.
Auto launch. You guys should watch my video on auto launch settings. I got this thing dialed in. Now I'm doing a voiceover because audio was just blown out by the wind at the field. So I'm just gonna kind of go over everything. Number one, I'm at 60% throttle this whole time. I'm pretty much pulling in the neighborhood of like 9 to 10 amps. So right now I'm just trying to figure out, like, making sure where the wind's coming from to give me an idea on my turns. And this is also the DVR footage. This is the footage from my goggles, and I'll go kind of back and forth here between the goggle footage and the actual onboard footage. But the onboard footage is stabilized. It's still bouncy, but just to give you an idea of what I was watching here. And so I was trying to figure out, you know, getting below the tree lines, if that would help. And so right now we're heading right into the wind, pretty much. And this thing is, I mean, it's actually not doing bad. I'm flying this whole thing in manual mode. I go into angle mode a couple times to see how it does. But I was worried if I put it in angle mode or cruise mode, it would just lose it. I don't know, the computer would not be able to react fast enough. I mean, this is pretty bad conditions. And so I'm just kind of staying in my own little area out here and just trying to get a feel for what it's going to do. Okay, so at this moment I'm thinking this was a bad idea. I'm doing everything I can to fly this plane, and it is taking a lot of work. It's actually honestly kind of pretty fun, you know, it's pretty exhilarating. And so right now I guess I'm flying into the wind, 60% throttle, and you're gonna see here I'm gonna make a left. I'm gonna bank to the left, and as I start to bank, I'm going into the wind. I pretty much lose airspeed and the thing just drops. And so I'm like hammering on the throttle. And now, of course, I'm going with the wind and I'm going light speed here. And I was like, okay, let's turn back around. I'm like, oh, let's avoid these trees, please. And I was so worried I was just gonna lose this thing in the trees. I didn't care about landing in a bean field or crashing it there, but I didn't want to land in the trees or in this river or in this creek. AKA, this is probably where all the cows and stuff pee into, so I'm just fighting this thing, and I don't know, it's just teaching me a lot how to fly in horrible conditions. Actually a really good exercise. And so I'm coming in, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna try to land it. There's the car right in front of me. Let's just try to get this thing right into the wind. And I'm pulling the throttle back, I keep bringing it back, and I'm like, okay, well, that didn't work. so I was like, okay, now I gotta make a turn, and so it's like, oh Lord, and these little rolls to the right or to the left, I mean, then the wind just grabs it and just forces it even more. So I'm gonna come back around, turning into the wind, turning out of the wind. I'm gonna lose a whole bunch of airspeed right here. It's gonna drop me down. Avoid these telephone poles and the wires. I was contemplating landing on the road, but again, the wind was blowing across the road. As you can see, I can't even keep the thing straight and level. That was in angle mode too, by the way. Switched out of it. I always land in angle mode, but I couldn't do it there. So then we're gonna get pushed by the wind again. And I was like, okay, we just got to get low. We got to get out of the breeze. Don't be too low so that when I make my turn, like right here, I don't get blown into something. And here we come. Final approach. Can I do it? I'm forcing this thing down. I'm forcing it down. I'm low throttle. I'm super low throttle. The wind blowing is like, it's like pushing it almost backwards. Cut it and bounce and upside down. The wind was blowing so strong across the street that it bounced and it caught air again. So that's it.
Okay, we got it back in one piece. Awesome. So it does fly in super gusty wind and windy conditions. I flew it in angle for a little bit, and then I flew it in manual most of the time. I was worried that the flight control software for angle or horizon or even acro was not going to be able to react fast enough to the gusts and the winds. You're going to see in the video when I was making my turnarounds, oh my gosh. You could just tell as you went with the wind, once you got up to speed, you had no airspeed. Yeah, your ground speed was like 35, 40 mile an hour, but I'm assuming I don't have an airspeed sensor. The airspeed was probably like 0. And you could feel it just stalling. Then when I landed, I'm not joking, I landed into the wind, I was going 0. And it just kind of just sat there and hovered over the ground there for a second. But we got it back in one piece. This shows you that if you really want to and you want to fly this thing in some horrible conditions, you totally can. Just figure out how you're going to land it. You got to have a big open area. Any precision landing is not going to work. And I pretty much kept the thing at 60% throttle the whole time. So as I turned into the wind, you know, I had enough thrust to where it wouldn't stall at an airspeed of 0. So that's it, man. That was awesome. Kind of want to do it again, but I'm probably not. Well, thanks for watching this video, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.